So we have zipped the 3 lists, and I've given only 2, looks like. Sorry. So it should be 2 lists, right? So that should be 2 lists. Okay. So you have the 2 lists there. All right. So now you have to just say zip. And the 2 lists are, see, the 2 lists are in square brackets. Or if you want to put them in a variable, you can do that too. So you can say L1 is that, L2 is that, and then zip L1, L2. That also is fine. Okay, now we want to save this, okay, because we want to use that zip in the next question. So you want to put it somewhere. So just make up a name. Okay, zip1, ZP1 or something. Okay, so what do I want to do now? Iterate over the zipped object, so and create a list. So what we want to here, we want to iterate over, so it's going to be for, right? We're going to iterate over that. How does iterate work here? So we have to, we're going to say for and in ZP1. Okay. So we're going to iterate over that ZP1. So what is ZP1 going to be like? How many elements will ZP1 have? 2? Okay. What zip will do? Again, I'm going to try this. Okay, so so go back to old style. So this is not going to be in your video, that's the problem. When you zip, it's going to take these 2 and put that as an element. Then it's going to these 2 and these 2. So it's going to pair like that. So how many elements will ZP1 have? 2, 4. So it's going to have 4, and each element will be a tuple of 2, right? So you're going to have 2 elements every time it goes through the ZP1. It's going to give you 2 elements. So you have to provide 2 variables here. So you just any variable name that you like. So A, B, or doesn't matter. Okay. All right. So now what are we supposed to do? Okay. create a list with the numbers from the first list raised to the power of the corresponding number in the second list. So the first list is A, the second list element is B. So we want to raise the first list element to the power of the second list element. So we want to raise A to the power of B and put that into another list, right? So we want to put that into another list, so it's not enough to simply say, how do you raise A to the power of B? A star star B, right? All right. So now you need to have a list to put it in, right? You need to have a list to put it in. So we have to define a list first. Okay. You can't just make it on the fly. We have to define it ahead of time. So let's say list result list. Okay. Or you can make up any name that you like. Okay. So we create an empty list. Empty list is just left and right square bracket, you get an empty list. Okay? All right. So now how do you put stuff into a list? We went adding elements to the list. There are three ways of adding elements to the list, which are append, extend, and insert. Right? So we can use, okay, append is going to put it at the end. Okay? So if you want to use the same sequence as the input values, then you want to put the first pair, the result of the first pair first, and then the result of the second pair next to that, result of the third pair next to that. So you want to keep adding to the back of the list, which is what append does. Append just puts it at the end. Okay. So what we can do is result list, right, dot append. So go back and see what the append, how to use append. Okay, if you're not sure, then you go back and take a look, and oftentimes this is not something that's always there in your head, so you have to go back and refer to see what the syntax is, because syntax is not often, it's not easy to remember all the syntax. So where did we do that? All right, so here, see, extend and that is for remove. So here it is. So we have see list dot append. The name of the list, that's our whatever name that we give, and then dot append, and then what needs to be appended. So here we do, so that's the list dot append, and you want to append that. Okay. Now that's it. So then go back and do this for the next item, then the next item, the next item, until ZP1 is fully exhausted. Okay. So the ZP1 at the end will have nothing in it because you've taken everything out. Now if you print result list, or this is displaying. Okay, so you have a new list of 4 elements that correspond with the 4 elements of these two lists. Is that okay? Did you get it done? Yeah. Oh, it's just the empty. Let me look. That VV work. Did it work?
I forgot to run that.
Oh, you know what it is? Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing about interpreter. If you don't run one line, the next line is not going to work. Yeah. All right. Enumerate over the zipped object and print the iteration number from the first list, the number of the second list, the number, the first and the second list, I guess, all right, raised to the power of the second. Okay, so, well, okay, so we need to do enumerate. Now, remember that zip, we have to run the zip again. So let's get that down here first. So it's always going to run it. So you'll have ZP1 populated back again. So it's that. Okay. Now instead of using for with the zipped list, we want to use enumerate. And that's because we want to look at the index as well. So we have, so we're going to enumerate okay. So enumerate is going to give us the first item will be the index. Okay. So let's call it I. That's a variable name that we are making up. Okay. And then there are going to be two numbers, A and B. Okay. And so we now need to print. So print the item number. So let's say print F. So index equal to, so I must be in curly braces. So it's going to tell you what is the index number is or row number. So index equal to I. Okay. Value A. Equal to that value, and we want to say value A raised to the power of that B, right, is A to the power of B. Invalid syntax, that's because I think I need to use that. For I, okay. I need to, I don't know whether I need that bracket. So it's actually in enumerate. I left out the in part. Okay, not enough values to unpack. So okay, yeah, I guess I needed that. All right. Okay. So when you unpack, it goes in here as a tuple. Now, if you want this to be maybe 3 decimal places, do that one. Okay. So this is an example where, for the purpose of printing, you want the index number, then you do the enumerate. But otherwise, you don't need enumerate. You can just do a for loop. What do I need? Yeah, that's the syntax. I didn't. So it's going to give you the index number, and then the element is going to come, because in the packed zip object, each packed element is a tuple. So I guess, I mean, I also thought I don't need the brackets, but apparently I need it because it's coming in as a tuple. That's the syntax. Okay. All right, we will stop here.